This is your only chance. I'm not coming back around.
Yes.
The pressure washer's right here. And so there's a little bit of that speed. We would put that in the today customer category, right?
Yes.
Price, speed, and convenience. He just offered all three to me in that moment.
Absolutely.
And if I don't want it, if I'm not ready to buy, that's fine. But he gave me all three answers to a today customer.
Welcome to the Maven Marketing Podcast. Today is Maven Monday, and I'm your host, Brandon Welch, with Caleb Agee. And that is a fancy, fancy shirt you have on there.
Oh, thank you. It's a limited edition.
An official issued Frank and Maven t-shirt.
Yes.
I also was given one of those.
Yeah.
Tried it on. 10 pounds of sugar in a 5-pound bag, man. You wear it very well, though.
Well, thank you.
And I will stick to my cool button-ups for the summer.
Yeah. I'm gonna throw something out there. If you send us a question, this is a little early to be doing a call to action in the podcast, but we're gonna go for it. If you send us a question in the next week, we will give you a free shirt. So send us your question and your size. Yeah, it'll be slightly used.
Seams popped loose.
We've got a fresh one we can give you, unless you really, really want the one that smells like Brandon. I mean, I don't know.
Hey, up to you. Put it in the notes.
We'll see if it goes what it goes for on eBay, but.
This is the place where we answer your real life. There's something wrong with you. This is the place where we answer your real life marketing questions so you can eliminate waste in advertising, grow your business, and achieve the big dream.
The big dream.
Yes. And I did that without looking at the paper.
Yeah.
We're dropping a new episode every Monday where we answer real life marketing questions from business owners across the U.S. And we have some really cool questions today, don't we?
Yeah. Before we get into that, can we just stop and acknowledge what's your big dream?
What is your big dream?
So you're driving to work right now. You're on your run. I'd like to think somebody's running right now, listening to this.
When's the last time somebody asked you that question? When's the last time you asked yourself that question?
Yeah.
We don't go back to that enough.
Yeah. I think it's easy to get lost in the weeds of the day-to-day and forget why you're doing it.
My friend David Turner, who owns a fantastic company, went on a little bit of a rant yesterday. He saw this quote about nobody ever said on their deathbed, "I wish I'd worked another hour." And he had just such a great response to that. It's like, if you are thinking that, you're in the wrong job. The big dream is all about a purpose-driven life. We talk a lot about that with our team. If you're a client here, that's the very first thing we drill on. What are you actually trying to make happen?
Yeah.
And that's the foundation of all good marketing. That's the foundation of all good companies. That's the foundation of all good life efforts, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So
wow.
If it's about putting money on the board, you've got a thin purpose.
Yes.
But there's a bigger dream behind it. It's why you started this whole thing. So
yes. There's some big dream questions at the back of the Maven Marketer. We've plugged all that enough by now, haven't we?
But I think the good stuff never goes away. So
we will get back. This is all about getting you to the good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And Spencer is most definitely trying to get to the good stuff.
Yes.
And
today we're really talking about the messaging and math of sales. So that is, we've got two kind of segments that we're going to work into. It spins off of Spencer's question, so we're going to dig right into it. Spencer's probably he's in
19, 20 years old.
Yeah. He's a
Talk
student
about knocking down the big dream
at a university, and he's got a good question here, so I'm going to read it for you. Hey, Brandon, I'm reading your book.
Thank you, Spencer.
Thanks, Spencer. It's the Maven Marketer. If you want to pick up a copy on Amazon, grab it. Oh, Brandon, you can hold that. There we go. It's really good. Thank you. And I have some questions. Spencer says, I run a pressure washing business in the summers. I mostly get business from going door to door and talking to people. Can we talk about real work right there? Pressure washing and door-to-door sales.
The number one indicator of good character and strong men is, did you work in a pressure washing business when you were Spencer's age?
Yeah, I know a couple guys in this room that might have done that.
I did, yes.
Yeah,
I don't know if Mr. Camera Guy did, but I did and you did, and that's really all we need to know, right?
So I was wondering if you had any tips for using the Maven method for selling my pressure washing services door to door. I've been pretty successful so far, but still get so many people who say no. They usually say no right after I ask them the question. So here's his pitch.
He's got a pitch.
He's got a pitch.
Love it.
He wrote it out for us. Hi, my name is Spencer, excuse me. He knocked on your door. You opened it up. You get this grinning ear to ear.
Hi, my name's Spencer.
19-year-old smiling at you. Hi, my name's Spencer. I'm trying to save some money for college. I'm a pressure washer. I just did one of your neighbor's driveways. Do you know the last time your driveway got cleaned? There's the question mark. That's where he said they fall off. Okay. We're going to log that away. Here's the rest of the pitch. If they don't slam the door yet. It's recommended to get it done once a year to get rid of all the dirt that builds up over the winter. Any other company would charge you about blank. I'm going to do it right now for probably a lot less. So let's say $500. I'm going to do it for $200 today, $250.
Awesome. Okay. Man, I have a couple things to say. So one is huge props to Spencer. The fact that, he's building his own business this young. The fact that he is hustling driveway to driveway.
Yeah.
Pulling stuff out of thin air. So much respect already.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of sales professionals, like a ton of sales professionals. That's the kind of the world we live in.
Yeah.
I don't know any of them who are being this critical about their own script. Usually that's somebody above them trying to beat
Force
them into submission.
Yeah.
And Spencer's going, what is the quality of my message here? And that is like, just by asking that alone, you're like miles ahead, right?
Yep.
So thank you for asking the question, Spencer. And he asked within the context of the Maven method. So we're going to go through that. I'm going to answer it as asked. And let's just jump right into that. And Spencer, I'm going to give you a little tough love because you asked for it, right?
Yep.
So quick review of the Maven method. Who are you talking to? What are their needs, pains, hopes, and fears? How does your product fill those needs, pains, hopes, and fears? And what is the most reasonable next step for action? You use that in any email, door-to-door script, ad, website language. Use that process and you really intimately and slowly answer those questions, you're going to win.
Yep.
And so the first one is who you're talking to. And why do we say that is the foundation? Because if you start talking in the form of a sales pitch, you will sound like a salesman.
Yeah.
If you start talking in the form of an ad, you will sound like an ad man. Mm-hmm. Nobody likes either of those things. What you want to do is sound like a human being. Mm. And if you and I didn't know each other and we decided to go to coffee, mm-hmm. And we just sat down to introduce each other, what would I be doing leading up to that coffee meeting as somebody was an introduction to you?
I mean, trying to learn about me.
Yeah, I would be, if I'm any sort of decent human being, I would be thinking about Caleb.
Yeah.
Who is Caleb? How old is Caleb? What does Caleb do? Does he have any kids? Does he like to travel? Does he like sports? Does he like whatever? And doesn't matter what I like. Naturally, we're doing this in the real world, right? And then you're
pulling for a connection.
You're looking for a connection.
Yeah.
And so don't bury your connection. And so if I'm Spencer, which, by the way, the beauty here is he is the marketing and the sales guy. Usually those two things have to work really hard to get aligned. And knocking door to door will make a man out of you. Let me just say that. Like, this is not easy stuff. Anybody who's done that knows that. But the beauty of it is that you get to test the ad and test the sales pitch all at the same time, like the same 3 minutes. Mm-hmm. And so he's getting some really cool intel here. And if I were sharpening both pitches, I would say, Spencer, you're wanting to kind of nuance this as you're walking up to the door. What clues can you get about who this is? Mm-hmm. Is it going to be a young, middle-aged, or old person answering the door based on the context clues of the neighborhood?
Yep.
Based on the kind of car they drive, based on what flag is or isn't hanging outside.
Yep.
Based on how clean the yard is, all these things.
Yeah.
And I'm probably just putting in my mind, am I talking to my grandma, or am I talking to my mom, or am I talking to some retired military guy, or am I talking to whoever, right?
Yeah.
Or my wife, right? And I'm parlaying that also with, what am I seeing about the home? Do they have a particularly well-kept yard? And so can I put in something there that's about them and the beauty of their home? Mm-hmm. Or do they look like somebody who doesn't really care a whole lot about the way that their house looks?
Yeah.
And then I might position that as more of a, saving money sort of thing on the maintenance side of things. I'm using the best context clues. Mm-hmm. And you're using everything you have available to you. Part of town, bumper stickers if you can peek at them, mm-hmm. and you're looking to make that connection, just like I would with Caleb if I sit in a coffee.
Yeah.
So then needs, pains, hopes, and fears. Now, when you're a direct response, what we call today customer mode, which he's looking for today customers, people that'll say, yes, wash my driveway, right? Mm-hmm. It's all about needs, pains, hopes, and fears related to the product. And so why would they need pressure washing? Where have they come up against pain in their life? And if there's a big mistake here you made, Spencer, is you started your entire pitch and you continued with your pitch with my name. I'm a pressure washer. I just did. Do you know how much was the last time you got your driveway clean? It's recommended that you get it done. It was all about you and your product, not about their need, pain, hope, or fear.
Yeah.
So if I see somebody who's got a really well-kept yard, I'm going, man, you have a beautiful yard. Could I help your driveway look that good?
Yeah.
I validated them. Need,
Yep.
pain, hope, or fear was they have a beautiful yard. Their hope is that their house looks beautiful, obviously, because they put the effort into it.
And a driveway to match.
Yeah. And if I see somebody whose house is run down, their pain might be my house value is not as nice as my neighbor's. So I'm going to say, hey, I did your neighbor's yard, but I think your house deserves to look as good as theirs. Or maybe there's something utilitarian about the product that's like, did you know that driveways that get cleaned last 10 years longer than ones that don't?
Yeah.
Because what I do is I remove the toxins and all the things that are breaking your driveway down.
Yeah.
So you're looking for that need, pain, hope, or fear, and that lifestyle and that human being you can connect with. And if you just put that in your psyche, instead of that my job is to ring the doorbell and get a yes, you will automatically have a better conversation.
Yeah.
You'll have a better connection with them. You will share values. They will like you. What's the number one secret to making people like you?
Ask questions or
About them, right?
About them. Yeah.
Make it about them.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm picking a different need, pain, hope, or fear, Spencer. It's not that I just did one of your neighbor's driveways, probably, or it's not the last time I got my driveway clean. I don't care. Nobody's sitting
The
around
answer
wondering
is
that.
no. When you ask,
Yeah.
do you know when the last time you got it cleaned was? 99% of the time, it's going to be no, I don't know. And you don't want in a sales pitch or in marketing for somebody to start saying no.
Yes.
If you can get them to nod their head yes all the way through the process, that is where you win. If you say you love your yard, you take pride in it, yes, and they're nodding and we're saying you, and so there's a lot of value in that.
Best sales advice I ever got was from my grandpa, who was the best relational salesman the world has ever known.
Yeah.
And that was his thing. He said, whatever you ask them first, it needs to be a yes. Yeah. And all the better if you can get them to say yes to something 3 times. And it could be, how about them Cardinals? Could be, man, this weather's rough, or man, this weather's good, or gosh golly, ain't it great to be alive, right?
Yep.
But you're wanting to get to that connection. That's the whole point about needs, pains, hopes, or fears.
Yeah.
So I might go, like I said, about either the longevity of the driveway, because just doing a little bit of research, what I found to be true is that mildew and mold produce like this acid, and it breaks down concrete.
Yeah.
And that's really expensive. And so by the time you've got a driveway that's been around for 10 years, it's got a big crack in it.
Yep.
Start deteriorating. 10 more years, it crumbles, and that's like a $10,000 ordeal.
Yeah, that's a big deal
for a driveway. I just got a little patch of concrete at my house. It was significantly more than I thought it would be. So, anyway, that's what you want to do, Spencer. And then you're just quickly going to that. How does my product satisfy? And I would go detail. I would demonstrate a little bit of expertise here. Say, first, what I do is I remove all toxins from your concrete, and then I put a exfoliating detergent on it. I don't know what that is if you do that, but you have something, right?
Yeah.
And what we do is we not only remove surface dirt, but I go down, 120 millimeters below the surface. So I'm getting out the stuff that's washed and built up over winter.
Yeah.
And we're getting mildew out of your cracks and crevices, which is what causes long-term deterioration, right?
Yeah.
You gotta talk about how it's going to transform their life. How does it satisfy that need, pain, hope, or fear?
Yeah.
And then what's the most reasonable next step for action? I think you had the right idea here, but I would put a little bit more reasonableness in it, because I know Spencer is trying to stack up cash so he can pay his next semester's college, and that is so awesome.
Yeah.
My goodness. Like, cheers to you. Thumbs up, fist bump.
Oh yeah.
But I'm saying I'm using that to make them endeared to me, and I'm saying, hey, because I'm a college kid and I have to go back to school here in a few weeks, I'm doing as many of these as I can. So I'm giving them a reason for the discount, and not just that I'm young and I'm a punk and I'm going to do it for less.
Yeah.
That's where I'm inserting that. And say, so, I know a lot of companies charge like $500, but I'm trying to do these as many of these as I can to pay for school next semester. So I'll do it for $250 if you want to do it today.
Yep. A little bit of urgency there too. This is your only chance. I'm not coming back around.
Yes.
The pressure washer's right here. And so there's a little bit of that speed. We would put that in the today customer category, right?
Yes.
Price, speed, and convenience. He just offered all 3 to me in that moment.
Absolutely.
And if I don't want it, if I'm not ready to buy, that's fine. But he gave me all 3 answers to a today customer. So
make the connection, uncover a void, fill the void, give them a reasonable next step to take action. You will win.
That's so good.
Spencer, Let us know how that revised pitch works. I reckon you got
Mhm.
about a month or so left in your sales of pressure washer sales this summer. And you do that, we may even dial you in and have you in on the podcast here in
Yeah.
a couple episodes. So,
Kind of
um,
the second part of his question was, I'm getting a lot of no's still. So
Mm.
we just talked about how to improve the pitch itself.
Mm.
Getting a lot of no's still. And so I think we need to go back to what's reasonable. What should he expect?
yeah, what's the
In-
math of it?
Yeah, in this situation. We're gonna cover Spencer's math, and then we're gonna go a little bit deeper because I think
Yes.
this applies globally. So real quick, let's go to Spencer's math.
Yeah.
Real fast.
So the thing you want to do, very first part of the strategy conversation you should have with yourself or any marketer is, what am I trying to make happen?
Mhm.
What is reasonable? Okay.
Yeah.
So we tend to think, oh man, I did that 10 or 15 times, it didn't work, and then we start this loop in our mind that this isn't going to work, and then therefore it doesn't work. But a little bit of data I was able to easily find on lawnandlandscape.com, I think is where it was.
Yeah.
Says that out of 100 doors that you knock, you should expect 20 of them to give you the time of day, right? So 20 of them will. So automatically you're setting your mindset for the next 4 are probably going to say no, but I don't care because I'm looking for that 5th one.
Yep.
Or maybe by the averages, it's the 8th one or the 10th one or whatever.
Yeah.
But, 20 out of 100 or 1 out of 5, right,
Mm-hmm.
would say, cool, I'll listen to you. I'm not going to slam the door in your face. So set your expectation for that. And then 3 will say yes, or 15% will say yes. 100 door knocks get you 3 sales.
Yeah.
So your game in your mind becomes knowing that you're trying to make this connection and pitch relatively quickly, but how fast can I knock 100 doors?
Yeah.
And if Spencer charges $250 a piece, every 100 doors is $750, right?
Yep.
And can I beat that average, right? So, but that's a benchmark. We're setting what is reasonable, and you can do the same thing in advertising, but really, instead of this like frustrating reality that, oh, I tried it and it didn't work, it's what part of the pitch or what part of the ad equation, what some people would call a funnel, is broken.
Yeah.
It's not that the whole thing is broken.
Yeah.
It's either did your ad, in this case is Spencer's first part of his pitch, ring the doorbell, did that ad
Get their attention.
Get the attention? Did
Yep.
they slam the door in his face? And if they slam the door in his face, then it's not the whole thing. It's not the whole neighborhood. It's not the whole business. It's that his intro is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So go back to that. Who am I talking to? Work on your connections. Work on your
Yeah.
conversation starters. Or, so it wasn't the ad. Was it the conversation to get them to the appointment? If you're in the world where you're generating leads and you're going, I generated a lead, it come into my inbox, or it came, via phone call to my business.
Yep.
Was the person answering the phone on their game?
Yeah.
Did you get the call but not set the appointment? Because that's a huge part of the equation.
Big part.
Very often in our sales conversations with our clients, and we're asking them revenue numbers, we see their P&L. We see everything that's going on in our client's business.
Mm-hmm.
And when they go, advertising's underperforming, we go, cool, maybe it is, but let's check the other spots. So
Yeah.
did we get the calls? Yes. Then let's go to the next thing. It's the person answering the phone. And what you often find is, well, she was on vacation last week. Our main person,
Yeah.
he had to go to his kid's baseball game or tournament or something.
Or they hired somebody new.
That's
they're
a big
splitting
one.
the phone calls.
Splitting the phone calls. Or sometimes somebody's just not doing their job. And so you got to go say, it's a great idea if you can record them if you're at that level.
Mhm.
But you're having them keep a log about what the conversation was. Because if they call and say, do you do this? And you say yes or no, and that's all you do, then it's like, meh.
Yeah.
You got to engage. So tell the person answering the phones, also go through the Maven method.
Mhm.
Who are you talking to? What are their needs, pains, hopes, and fears? And people need
Yes.
validation.
Yep.
Validation. Empathy,
Mm-hmm.
secret to marketing, right?
Yeah.
Then what could happen is, this could be a business ops question. Did the appointment keep on the schedule or did it cancel? That happens a lot of times.
It does.
Sometimes you don't have enough opening in your schedule, and so you push them, a week or 2 out, and the competitor gets there before you do.
Yep.
They make the pitch and they steal it.
You got to strike while the iron's hot.
Got to strike it while it's hot. So faster you can get to them, the better. But also, can we do like 3 or 4 touch points? Imagine if the person who said, cool, I'll let you come out to my house and give me a sales pitch, or I'll show up at your office and you can give me a consultation if you're in a professional service business. Imagine if between that point and the time they show up at your office, you sent them an email thanking them for the opportunity. You sent them another email with some testimonials and some things they need to be thinking about.
Yeah.
And then maybe you drop them a handwritten note in the mail, right?
Yeah.
Like, how can you increase that authenticity? Because the person who has the most trust wins.
Yep.
And you're looking to make them like you long before they have that pitch. Then we get to the sales pitch, and this is the fun one, because sometimes all three of those people have done their jobs, and then the sales guy screws it up.
Yep.
Sales girls never screw it up; they always do better.
Yeah, just the sales guy.
The sales fella gets there, and he's either not validating, again, back to the Maven method, back to message, and it becomes a benchmark over time. So you can see, hey, on my best performing months or times of the year, what's like really good. And in home improvement, we often see the math that about 70% of the leads should set to an appointment. But let's just say that's really high. Let's just say it's 50%.
Yeah.
Let's say I paid $100 to get this lead into my inbox or person to call me.
Yeah.
Half of those set to an appointment. That means I've got a $200 investment into this appointment so far.
Yep.
And let's say, 100% of those appointments stick. Then I have a 50% close rate. Well, I've got $400 to get a client, right?
Sure. Yep.
That's good math, right? For most people, especially if you're selling something like a roof that's,
10, 12, 20.
12 grand, right?
Yeah.
12 grand. If you're selling power washing and it's, a bigger job, that's probably why Spencer doesn't want to advertise, because he's not want to pay.
You can do this math and figure out that this wouldn't be profitable for him.
Right.
But
anything that's a $2,000 or $3,000 average ticket or more, advertising can start to work like that. Like, it's pretty real numbers.
Yeah.
$300 to $400 per closed sale can happen if you're doing this right.
Yeah. I want to put a caveat here, because a lot of times what marketers miss is they take it to the marketing level, right? I built a good website. I built some ads that led to that website. I generated leads. Here you go, sales team. And you hand it off to business owner, like if you're an agency, or to the sales team if you're in-house marketing. And then you maybe peace out. I'm done. And the big thing we're trying to do here, we are desperately concerned with marketing and sales holding hands, because if you don't connect the two, you won't know how they're performing. And a lot of times, marketers, you'll get really frustrated when you hear leads are bad, leads are down. You look at it, no, they're not down. We didn't really change anything. We've actually had the same engine running for a little while. You don't have any ground to stand on, because everybody's pointing fingers at you, and it seems like you're at the beginning. So, and you're the one where the biggest cost is, right? And then what happens is you do some investigation. You start looking at. You should do some investigation. A lot of people just start
changing the ads right away.
Yeah, worst thing to do. And what you need to figure out is where in this process the fall off is.
Yes.
The other thing I want to say is this is really for today customers. If you want to measure results this tangibly, quickly, that's really a today customer equation.
And we're more talking about Google and Facebook type direct response medias, where people can either be targeted that are likely buying. That's how you measure today marketing.
People would call that like bottom of the funnel in different terms. We call it today marketing, which is that today customer. They are ready to buy what you're selling reasonably now or in the near future.
So listen to the episode we did a couple weeks ago called Is it Traditional or Digital Advertising? We talk a little bit about the today versus the tomorrow customer.
Yeah.
And because if you add the tomorrow customer in the mix, everything gets sweeter. Takes a little while to work, but you're talking about way better numbers than what we even just shared. But thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah. If you take that today customer, you take them from lead to appointment to sale
in a matter of days, right?
That's where you want to check at each point. Is everybody up to their numbers? Because a lot of times you hear bad leads, and really it's the appointment set rate was low, or
absolutely,
and there could be another factor involved.
Yeah, and you're gonna have down weeks, and you're gonna have even down months, and resist the urge just to go turn it off. You got to go, why did it not work? And is that a market condition, a human condition, a talent condition, a competitive condition? and ask the questions. And you're using the math to say how far is it off and where is it off in that funnel. So quick review. What's your cost per lead? What's your percentage of appointments that got set from that lead? What is the percentage of appointments that stuck?
Mm-hmm.
And what are the percentage of closes you got from those appointments, right?
Yeah.
And measure those 4 metrics. And when one of them's off, that's trickling down to the end result, which is my marketing working, right?
Yep.
And then measure it against cost per acquisition. You should have in your mind, what am I willing to pay for a customer?
Yeah.
The roofing example we gave earlier, $12,000 top line cost, probably 30% profit margin. That's $4,000. He's going to pay $400 for a $4,000 in profit all day long.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Last thing. If you want to improve the result of any of this, your math equation there, the biggest thing that will improve is making it faster for the customer. So if you answer that lead within 5 minutes, you have like a 391% chance of better chance of closing them.
Yeah.
Says research. And then increase the frequency of the touch points, not only before the lead, but between the lead and the appointment, and even from the appointment to the sales and the delivery.
Yeah.
So you don't get cancellations.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you can sell them and then they get cold feet or something they got insecure about or whatever. You get a cancellation. So we coach our clients. They need to be talking to these people a minimum of 10 times between lead and sale. And that could be a phone call. Hey, just letting you know everything's good. Hey, I'm so thankful. Having the owner call. I'm so thankful. Having a handwritten note. Sending a baked pie. Some sort of gesture. Like you pick.
Yeah.
We do this in our agency.
We do this a lot in our agency. Yeah. I think a lot of times, just little hint here, the things we find the most success in are the unconventional things.
Yes.
So look for, you mentioned a baked pie. I just heard somebody talking about someone giving fresh baked bread.
Yes.
Actually, I've heard that twice in the last week. A loaf of bread.
Oh yeah, my carpet guy.
Your carpet. You mentioned that somebody I had coffee with earlier this week mentioned his wife was handing out bread. I'm like, why not? Just
this guy. Let me tell you about this carpet guy. He does a great job. Okay.
Yeah.
I have 4 kids. We get our carpets clean often, and so this guy's way more expensive than the other guys. He came recommend to us the first time. We're like, wow, that was expensive. But he left fresh loaf of bread. I'll never call another guy because I like the guy. He comes and his son works with him and his wife writes a little note and they leave fresh baked bread and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
That's a connection thing. That is who you're talking to, a human being. Every human being likes bread. So
every human being likes bread.
Increase your authenticity, your frequency, and your speed, and you're going to have such a better reputation. That's going to pay off long term. That's going to lead to people bringing you back to their friends and family. And man, that's just a fun way to do business, is just to wow people, right? And then going back to that big dream, your work becomes more than work, becomes a mission, becomes an impact, becomes a +1, a feel good, a better life you're offering the world. And that is what we're all about.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we're going to land it.
That's it right there.
Thanks so much for listening. Give them a plug.
Yeah. If you have a question, we will send you a Frank and Maven Swagalicious t-shirt.
And wait, there's more.
And
a signed copy of the Maven Marketer.
We'll give you a copy of the Maven Marketer. So send us your questions to mavenmonday@frankandmaven.com. And also be sure to subscribe, share this podcast. We've seen a great response so far.
Yeah.
And we are just getting going. So thankful for everybody for sharing that. It really helps us out with the algorithms to just help more businesses.
Yes.
Achieve that big dream. So
real quick, that question email address is mavenmonday@frankandmaven.com. Send us the question. You can also sign up for the email newsletters we're sending out twice a week now with lots of good stuff in there. That's enough plugs. That's enough podcasts. Thank you so much. We'll be here every Monday answering your marketing and advertising questions because marketers who can't teach you why are just a fancy lie. Have a great day.